Klay Thompson pending potentially a Dallas Maverick here. We got the Woj bomb. We're just waiting on a final piece to fall to secure this deal. Apparently, it's Golden State compensation. They're trying to figure out exactly what they're going to receive in this. But Charlotte appears to be in. Mavs are in. 3-player deal. Klay Thompson to the Mavericks. 3-team deal. 3 years, $50 million for Klay. And he's reportedly, according to Woj, he had a 4-year offer for more money. He's taking less for a chance to win a 5th championship with your Mavs.
Wow.
And, of course, the difference in state taxes, which you brought up, Brian Broaddus, and that is a big, big, big sticking point. But ultimate competitor in Klay Thompson, this would mean a little something for him. Come over to the Mavericks, chance to win, looking at Golden State like, ooh, this isn't looking too good right now. My guys, Draymond, I love you, Curry. I love you, Steph, but I'm going to go ahead and party with Luka and Kyrie and go ahead and add some more diamonds to my collection.
Yeah, he's feeling disrespected. He's upset, but then you look over and they're like, there actually might be some greener grass over there. Yeah. So much so that I'm willing to take maybe a little bit less money because – as you mentioned, the state taxes, that helps. He's a businessman trying to be a 5-time champion. And I love the fact that he's coming. I thought Mike was making a great point in crosstalk. Like, this is the first time ever you get, like, a respectable kind of star name, at least, to be like, yeah, you know what? I do want to come here. Even Dinwiddie's like, I'll go to the Lakers instead of the Mavericks. And he's been there, done that with the Mavs, going on a nice run. And so to have this with Klay Thompson, I think so much is credit to Nico Harrison. Obviously, so much is credit to Luka for being, spearheading and being the reason why this team is as awesome and close to a title as it is. And then the Kyrie factor.
Sure.
I mean, they have the same shoe line or whatever. And so, which is not like a Nike thing. They're both Nike. It's a much smaller situation there. And so I think that there's a relationship there with Klay Thompson that's huge. But for him to turn down playing with LeBron, playing for the Lakers, playing for the team that his dad played for and still is associated with in a huge way, I mean, I think that is what a home run situation, especially with you lose Derrick Jones, but you bring in Najee Marshall, and now you still have the defensive identity here. It wasn't a swap. It wasn't you lose Derrick Jones Jr. Now we're just gonna go to Klay Thompson, and now we're gonna expect him to be a much better defender than he can probably be at this point. But now that's not the case. You still have great 2 studly defensive wings in PJ Washington and now Marshall, and then bringing in Grimes over THJ. Like, the Mavericks are a much better team today than they were when they were getting spanked by the Celtics.
Toughness, I think, is something all 3 of these guys. I mean, you've seen what Klay Thompson's done fighting through injuries throughout his entire career. Everything we've heard about Quentin Grimes and Najee Marshall so far, I mean, these guys are tough sons of guns. I mean, Marshall, 7'1" wingspan. I was bummed to lose out on Derrick Jones Jr. We all kind of seemed like going into the weekend, that was a formality. They moved THJ. They've opened up the cap space. Derrick Jones Jr. is coming back, and he's going to be a Maverick. He signs a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Clippers. Marshall, on the pivot by Nico Harrison, 3 years, $27 million. But, I mean, you really kind of look at the statistics and the comps between these two. I think more of a well-rounded offensive game, which is what you're getting here with Najee compared to Derrick Jones Jr. I mean, the 3-point shooting, very, very comparable. I think Marshall's can only get better. Defensively, we did see Derrick Jones Jr. guard some of the best guards in all of the NBA.
That's the difference right now.
And Marshall's going to have to prove that.
That's the difference. And I talked to somebody with the Mavs, and they're like, listen, with Jones, you're guarding elite guards. And he is capable of that. He says, hey, Marshall is a guy that the first word that was told to me was just toughness, mean, nasty kind of a guy. And they were saying, listen, his 3-point shooting got better as the year wore on. He's developed that. And so that's a real plus for him right now. I know, the midday guys were talking about the numbers. I know Kevin brought it up as, hey, listen, it's been developing. The first couple of years, it wasn't as good as it needed to be, but last year he got a lot better. But they did get a guy that they feel like that the shooting could be better, and it will be. They feel like they got a plus defender there. The thing that he'll have to develop is that Jones had the ability to guard those elite guards. And if Marshall's going to have to be able to prove that. But, it clearly was a pivot from, we were all kind of talking about, what do we have to do to bring Jones back? What do we have to do? And Nico Harrison had no time for that. He's like, no time. I'm going to bring another guy in. And you know what? I think as a former personnel guy, I appreciate that. I hate falling in love with your players. And we see that at the Cowboys probably way too much. You fall in love with your players. You don't want to. You want to bring everything back. You want to. No, you did. You went to the NBA Finals. Congratulations. You didn't win it. what can we do to win this thing next time? Next time we're there, let's not run this thing back and sit there and think that, this is everything's going to be just fine. If you feel like that you're one or two players away or different players need to be here with your core guys, by all means, just rotate that thing. He could have sat there and took all the praise all year long about, hey, great job, Nico. Great job, great job, great job. No, he went out and he's moving pieces and trying to get other players because he knows his team wasn't good enough to beat the Boston Celtics. And so I applaud guys that want to do stuff like this.
Yeah,
Amen.
yeah.
And you've got to, just to maintain, hey, it's no guarantee you're winning the West again.
No,
we were just talking off
no.
Eric, the stuff that Oklahoma City has done.
Yeah.
They add Hartenstein today as well, which gives them tremendous rebounding, which they lacked in that series against the Mavericks. The Caruso trade that they already made a week ago, adding them some perimeter defense. OKC looks really, really good. Denver's going to be back in the thick of things. Minnesota's probably looking around like, oh, gosh, we need to make some moves because the West is only getting stronger.
Yeah, only getting stronger, and I'm with you 100%, Broadus, when it comes to the Nico stuff, being able to pivot off of what he was saying was plan 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Like their entire plan was, let's make sure we get Derrick Jones Jr. back, and then he switches agencies, and then all of a sudden the Clippers, I'm guessing what happens here is the Clippers are like, hey, we don't have Paul George. We can guarantee you're a starter. And the Mavericks were kind of like, okay, we're really interested in Klay Thompson, and the hope is that we're going to get him. And then, sorry, Derrick Jones Jr., you're probably not going to be a guaranteed starter here anymore.
Mavs saw in that finals against Boston where they shot 17% from open threes.
Yeah, it's awful.
That's
you can't do that.
They figured that out. That was a recipe for disaster for them. And all of a sudden, you go out and you get a couple of guys that can maybe shoot the ball. You get some toughness we talked about. Klay Thompson probably on defense. I think Father Time, I think Achilles, I think knee has robbed him of some of his ability to play defense.
Agreed, 100%.
But if he's there knocking down 42% of his shots from three in key moments, and Mike Bassick made a great point, the way that Klay Thompson shoots, he's just not a corner three.
No.
He's a corner three. He's
an everything
he's
three
constantly
guy.
moving. That's going to be a little bit of a difference for him in this offense.
He's from the logo. And he's not afraid to take a big shot. I mean, he relishes the opportunity to knock down big shots. And so if you could get him, his health can stay, to where it needs to be, I'm sure you're going to miss some games with him. But if that's, you'll take that if you can get some 3-point shooting, because you did not have it in that championship series. It was very, very, very
And
clear.
Klay Thompson averaging the most catch and shoot points per game in NBA history.
Yeah, he does not
42.4%.
He's not interested in
shot from three. I mean,
Offensively,
it's unbelievable.
It's going to be wonderful what he can do as a floor spacer, and he's not going to be asked to do as much as he was, having to be like the second guy creating things in Golden State. Now it's like, dude, you really get to play to your strengths here, and that's being a 3-point monster, and just go be that. We're going to give you fantastic looks, and all the space that you're going to create is just going to open things up for everybody. So offensively, I think it's wonderful. And again, the thing that I feared on the front end of this was, okay, if you lose out on a Derrick Jones Jr. without replacing that type of wing defense, and then you're bringing in Klay Thompson, and now you're asking him to do a lot defensively, but you're not now.
No,
now it's, hey,
two guys
you got
that are
PJ
capable.
and you got Najee Marshall now that are your defensive, dirty, nasty wing guys that you've seen since the Dodo Reggie Bullock days, and now it's morphed into PJ Washington and Derrick Jones, and now it's PJ Washington and Najee Marshall. You have that, so it's not like, Klay, you've got to go be an all-defense type of defender. Now you can be our third best kind of wing defender guy.
And you got another bench piece in Quentin Grimes, who you don't have to just sit for an entire postseason run like they were having to do with Tim Hardaway Jr., because he can actually come in and defend and give you a little bit of something. We do have Woj updating just moments ago. Warriors and Mavs still working through details of the sign and trade, which includes Hornets sending the Mavs 2 second-round picks for Josh Green.
Okay.
One of those picks could end up in Golden State. Thompson will land in Dallas on that 3-year deal.
See, and that's a huge thing for me is the money factor on this. We thought was going to be so much higher. We thought it was going to be 3 for 70, 3 for 75, and it's 3 for 50. To me, that's a contract that will age much better than a $25 million a year one.
It's crazy, and it's awesome to hear that he had a 4-year offer for more. And he said, no, I'd like to go to the Mavericks. That is very, very exciting. Mavs still putting in work. right now. Now,